back to the Westwood Living Podcast. Happy to be joined by Tiffany O'Connell, who is not only the author of Do You Have a Plan? How to Avoid Leaving a Mess, a guide to estate planning, but she's also the head of the O'Connell Law Group based in Natick. And we spoke about a month ago, just getting to know you a bit. But most specifically, this podcast is going to focus on a very important topic, most notably for parents. Parents who have kids who are approaching 18. And maybe you're going to talk specifically to the kids who are 18. How important it is for them now that they're starting to make money, now that they have more responsibility and more legal independence, how important it is for them to speak with someone like you. Why is this an important topic for you?
Yeah, so this is an important topic just because so many people aren't thinking about it. And honestly, I'm speaking to the parents here because really it's you parents who are going to get your adult child to do something. Because your adult child, young adult, they're not thinking about this. We probably start seeing young adults think about this sometime maybe in their mid-20s and so on. They're usually now out of school and so on. And then they start thinking about it. But parents, I tell you, you need to be thinking about this for your own young adult who is heading off or is now in college. So many people don't realize that once someone reaches age 18, whether you think they're an adult or not, they are in the government's eyes. So parents, surprise, surprise, heaven forbid, if you ever need to make health decisions for your child, they were in an accident or something, you don't have legal authority anymore. So you did prior to age 18, but upon reaching age 18, you don't. If you need to take care of any accounts or anything for school or anything, you better have your child have a power of attorney in place because, again, if they're age 18, they're not allowed, anyone that you're looking to have help that child, they're not allowed to talk to you unless you have a legal document that authorizes you to do so. So for someone who's 18 or older, at the very least, should have a power of attorney to deal with anything that's not health related, and anything that's health related, having a healthcare proxy.
Three-pronged, though, too. There was one other as I was preparing for this conversation, and it's escaping my mind right now. You talked health proxy. You talked power of attorney. What's the third one that an 18-year-old should be thinking about?
So the third one that should be done is something called a HIPAA. You've oftentimes signed them at doctor's offices. It's based on the federal privacy statute that says, unless I list these people down, they should not have access to my written medical information.
Okay.
So that goes hand in hand with the healthcare proxy.
So an 18-year-old goes off to college. What I enjoy about getting to know how you do your business, and it's a bit dramatic, but I think effective, you sort of painted a little bit of a picture. I think it's important for a parent to almost think of what might happen. Do you find that to be a powerful way to open up a parent's eyes? Just paint a picture of something that could happen and how a parent might be painted into a corner.
Well, sadly, I can talk about two cases that happened last year. So, and the most common is something happens while they're at school. Maybe, heaven forbid, maybe there was some sort of overdose or something. Or maybe they were in an accident, right? So nothing that we want to ever think could happen, but they do. And if that 18 plus year old did not have a healthcare proxy and did not have a power of attorney, and if the parents are trying to help, it can be a real, not just hassle, but they may end up in the court system getting authority. Now, that can easily be rectified by just talking with your 18 plus year old and saying, hey, we'd like you to talk with an attorney to get those key documents in place, a power of attorney, a healthcare proxy, yes, and a HIPAA, so that we can help you if you ever need it. But hey, we don't have power, parent, speaking as a parent, unless something happens. So oftentimes once an 18-year-old plus realizes that, oh, okay, if I put these in place, they can't do anything now. It's just if something happens.
I would imagine it's not that hard either. It seems to be pretty simple and not too very time consuming because you probably have a very organized system that can present, these are the documents, here's what you need to know. I mean, seriously, I would think you could probably get this done in no more than an hour.
So what we've done is we actually, and we did this during the pandemic. So we created this during the pandemic. We actually created proprietary software so that that 18 plus year old can basically sign up online, go through an online interview. When they get to the end of it, they set up an appointment for a Zoom meeting with one of the attorneys in my office, just so that the attorney can quickly walk them through. And then after that, it's just setting up a time for them to sign. So it can be done at any hour on their own, setting up just a very short Zoom meeting during the business day, and then setting up a time to sign. So boom, done.
In a way, I also look at it as insurance. And when I think of insurance, it's like, okay, you're going to have to put an investment against that. But that investment is to protect you in the event that something disastrous happens.
Correct.
And am I right in it's $500?
It is. It's 500. And so we have definitely heard, hey, that's expensive. Yes,
Oh,
I know.
I'm going to interject and say no. I really don't think so.
Well, it's less than the cost of a cell phone, right?
Great way to look at it.
And so is your 18-year-old, do they have a cell phone? They should have an estate plan. And so, yes, it does cost something, but we definitely have made it so that it just makes sure it covers our time. We're not making a profit off of this. This is a real service to the community. But that said, it's just so easy for them just to get it done.
And there's a lot of things that you're thinking about during this time when somebody becomes 18, when they go off to that freshman year of college. But there are responsibilities that all of a sudden they just inherently inherit.
Right.
Inherently inherit. That should be a phrase. And I don't think that most of us are thinking that way. So you need to have some counsel. So the best way for people to learn more about it is probably to go to one of your webinars first, because you have webinars about this and it can educate people and have them quickly understand, like, okay, we should get this done.
And in fact, Tom, I think you just convinced me I need to do one specifically on young adults. So we'll probably have that launched in the next month or so. So I'll make that promise to you. But that said, honestly, the best way is to go to our website, o'connelllawgroup.com. Under the practice area tab at the top, you'll actually find one for estate planning for young adults. Just click on that and it will give you the information you need. And then at the bottom of that, you can click to get started.
That's great. Go to o'connelllawgroup.com. You should also get the book. It's a very easy to read, illustrated book that teaches you how to avoid leaving a mess, and it's a real guide to estate planning. Tiffany's the author of that. And there's plenty of resources there. Just spend some time to educate yourself a bit, because beyond the young adult planning, all of us, particularly those who are in my age group who have parents and who have kids, should be thinking about what we're doing towards the end of any of these people's lives, because it is such an important responsibility that will make that road so much smoother. So go to o'connelllawgroup.com, learn about Tiffany and your great staff. And I can't thank you enough for your support of Westwood Living, and also for your support of the community, because you just said it. For this specific topic, you're not making money. This is to make sure that people are taking care of themselves.
Exactly.
Great. My thanks to Tiffany for her time. And of course, if there's anybody else who you think would be a great person for me to talk to, just reach out, tleiden@bestversionmedia.com, and we'll get them here on the Westwood Living Podcast. But for now, so long, and thanks for listening.